Hello, friends, and welcome into Seattle Seahawks Today. I am your host, Tom Downey, and we're going to preview the Seahawks game this week against the New York Jets, a game that the Seahawks should absolutely win, and quite frankly, one they kind of need to win because the Jets are horrible. They have not won a game yet this season, although we said similar things last week about the New York Giants, and we all know how that game ended up going down. Now, this should surprise no one, but at home, Seattle is a heavy favorite in this game, 13.5 points. The over-under is just 47. In theory, this should be what I call a get-right game, the type of game in which the offense looks a lot better, the defense actually keeps up its recent string of solid play, and they put up 30-plus points and blow out the Jets, and it's an easy win, which there haven't been enough of those this year for Seattle, especially as of late. Seattle's lost 3 of their past 5 games. Tough loss against the Bills that, frankly, wasn't as close as the score might indicate. They lost by 7 against the Rams as the offense sputtered. Bounced back with a win over the Cardinals, who are now just 6-6. The Eagles, they beat them in a game they should have won by a lot more, but they kind of let a miracle Hail Mary play, and the offense sputtered a few times on 4th down. And then the offense struggled again against the Giants. Look, 12 points, 23 points, 28, 16, 33. Kind of the 33 game was a bit late. This past 4 games, the offense has struggled. That is troubling, which we'll dive more into here in a little bit. As for the Jets, they've actually done a decent job of covering spreads as of late, which is the nicest thing that I can say about this franchise. They should have beat the Raiders. They had it, and the now fired Greg Williams went YOLO and blitzed everybody, and Henry Ruggs beat his undrafted rookie free agent cornerback counterpart on a double move, and, well, history is history. So I think the Seahawks should win this game. In fact, this is the most confident I've been all year in a Seahawks win. I think we all agree on that. If you agree and you think Seattle is going to beat the Jets, I want you guys to like this video. And before we dive more in depth on some preview stuff here, as always, I want you guys to predict the score. This will once again be the pinned comment because of course it is. So let me know in the comments what the score is going to be and who you've got winning, especially if you get that ad break here on YouTube. Let's talk about these 2 quarterbacks here. We'll talk plenty on Russell Wilson, so I'll start with Sam Darnold. I try to be nice in general when I'm doing these videos. Sam Darnold is bad. There's no way around it. And I know his supporting cast is not great, but the past 3 years, Sam Darnold's production has been worse than Andy Dalton's production. Let that sink in for just a second there. There is a very clear better quarterback in this particular game. That is Russell Wilson. Now, I do want to spend a little bit more time here on Russell Wilson because overall this season, he's been good. But this has not been a steady Russell Wilson. The first 7 games, I mean MVP caliber, MVP frontrunner, looked like he was a lock to win the award. Last 5 games, I mean, that's a little bit too much like Sam Darnold for me. That's just not good production. I think this should be a get-right game. The Jets' run defense actually pretty solid, relatively speaking. Its pass defense is horrific. Let Russ cook. He should have a big day against the Jets. Now, today's show is made possible by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code you see on screen. That is Seahawks125, and we still have this deal available. Email us, Seahawks@chatsports.com. This is only available for new BetUS customers. But if you sign up and deposit, $100 to get that deposit bonus, will also get you a Jamal Adams or a Russell Wilson jersey. Once you've signed up, deposited, all of that, email us, Seahawks@chatsports.com. We'll get all your information and get you hooked up there with that jersey. So again, that is right below me, Seahawks@chatsports.com. You must use the URL you see at the very bottom of your screen, chatsports.com/bet. And don't forget that promo code, Seahawks125. Let's talk injuries now for Seattle. Brandon Shell first up here. Look, he has missed the past 2 games with an ankle injury. And although he is not an elite right tackle, he's better than some of the other guys that have been out there this year for Seattle. Now, Pete Carroll says he hopes that Shell's going to be able to return, and Carroll said Shell thinks he's going to be able to practice this week. Cedric Ogbuehi might also be able to return, which is good because DeMarco Jones got banged up. The offensive line, after a pretty solid start, has kind of regressed a little bit. Ethan Posick is not good if he's not getting enough help. Dwayne Brown's been steady as ever. Ayupati and Simmons continue to rotate. It's still kind of weird to me. If you get back Shell as opposed to Jones or Ogbuehi, I think that is a significant boost for your offensive line relative to the way they've been playing past couple games without Brandon Shell. I'm curious how you guys vote on this one, by the way. What is your confidence level in the offensive line? Rate this for me on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you don't have much confidence at all. 10 being you think it's the best offensive line in the NFL. I think it's somewhere in the middle, but get your votes in. I did want to mention the running back situation as well. Rashaad Penny is set to practice Wednesday. He's probably not going to come off the PUP list in time for this game, but Pete Carroll did say he thinks Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde are getting healthier, and that should help out the offense as well. In a very promising update, and we'll go more in depth on this later in the week, I'm sure, Quinton Dunbar is going to return to practice as well. He was great early in the year, then his knee got wrong and he struggled. They put him on IR. If he can come back, that means you can go put DJ Reed back in the nickel corner role as opposed to having him be your number 2 corner on the outside. That would be a significant boost. Again, I don't think it's in time for the Jets, and we'll see if Ryan Neal's able to play. That one's a true questionable right now, but that would be a big boost for the Seahawks defense. Now, if you guys want to stay up to date on what's going on around the Seahawks, subscribe right now. It is free. I know subscribe makes you think payment. No. You don't have to pay anything. It's always free, always will be as well. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Let's look now at where the Seahawks sit in the playoffs and in the NFC overall. They are technically tied right now with the LA Rams at 8-4. However, the Rams have the tiebreaker advantage. Now, Arizona's trending in the wrong direction and, in fact, are actually on the outside looking in right now of the playoff picture. As things sit, if the season ended today, it would be a Seahawks-Giants rematch game because the Giants are 5-7, had the tiebreaker over the Washington football team, who are very much suddenly in the mix overall in terms of where things sit for the Seahawks. I like where things are at for Seattle. I know they're coming off that very disappointing win. The schedule down the way is not that difficult. It's really not. They have games against the Jets, Washington, Niners, and Rams. I think they should win at least 3 of those, if not all 4. So I want you guys in the comments to predict what you think the Seahawks record will be this year. Are they going to win out and finish the year with 12 wins? Or are they going to lose another game or 2? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Now, once again, let's recap here because I never gave my prediction. I asked for yours earlier. Now we'll do mine in just a second. Jets on the road against Seattle. It's a 13.5 spread in favor of Seattle in this game. I think this is a game the Seahawks will win. I also think it's a game that they might have a little bit of issues if they try to get too balanced. This is a bad Jets pass defense. You need a get-right game for Russell Wilson. This one screams as an obvious get-right game. So with that in mind, I got the Seahawks winning 30-20. The Jets do get a late backdoor cover when I think Seattle should be and will be in control of most of this game. If the team needed a wake-up call for whatever reason, they got one against the New York Giants. I don't think they're going to have a similar one against the Jets. I got Seattle winning 30-20, but as a reminder, I want you guys to go get your score predictions in the comments section. Let me know what you think the final score of this one will be.